Welcome back to the World According to Briggs. Today we're talking about cities that will make you say, wait, that many Muslims live there? Yes, these are the places where community, life, culture, mosques, bakeries, and family-owned businesses are everywhere, and the demographics are shifting faster than housing prices in Florida. These are the most Muslim cities in the United States, and trust me, some of these numbers will surprise you more than your electric bill. The reason we're making this video is because I've been reading in the news lately about all the different misinformation about the number of Muslims living in the United States and their communities. Whether it's the entire city or the neighborhood, these tend to be nice, family-orientated communities. So buckle up, grab a coffee, preferably stronger than the Wi-Fi in half these towns, and let's take a tour through the most Muslim cities in the United States. You're probably going to learn something, and if not, you're at least going to get a geography lesson that isn't from someone yelling on TikTok. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look. Number 10, Chicago, Illinois. Chicago has a long history of being a place where people go when they want big city opportunity, but they don't want to pay New York rent or risk getting stuck behind a Hollywood tour bus. Muslims have been part of Chicago's story for over a century, starting with early Syrian and Bosnian immigrants, continuing with the African-American Islamic movement, and later growing with South Asian and Middle Eastern professionals who decided they liked skyscrapers but hated humidity. These days, Chicago's Muslim community is one of the most diverse in the country. You've got Pakistani grocery stores next to Arab bakeries, next to African-American mosques with decades of history. There are over 100 Islamic centers in the metro area alone, more mosques than Chicago has decent weather days. Here's the numbers. 8 to 10% of Chicago's population is Muslim. Now, some of these you'll get the metro area, others you'll get the city itself. It just depends on how the census reported it. Now, other organizations say it's closer to 11 to 18%, but these are all estimates. Number 9, Houston, Texas. Houston's what happens when someone says, let's build a giant city with every possible culture, and also throw in traffic just to test their faiths. The Muslim population exploded here starting in the 1980s and 1990s, when engineers, doctors, and entrepreneurs from places like Pakistan, Nigeria, and Iran arrived and discovered that Texas had two things they loved: warm weather and zero zoning laws. Yeah, that is the weirdest place. Their zoning laws are absolutely mind-boggling. You could have a childcare business right next to a strip club. Today, Houston's Muslim community is big, diverse, and growing faster than the potholes. You'll find halal barbecue spots, massive mosques, and suburban neighborhoods where Ramadan feels like a small-town festival. And yes, Houston's been a popular place for Muslim immigrants for some time now. This isn't like something new that just happened. They've been coming here for quite some time. Anyway, 8 to 10% of their population is Muslim. It's one of the fastest growing Muslim populations in the country, with enormous diversity: Pakistani, Persian, Nigerian, Somalian, Iraqi, and more. The Houston metro area has about 200,000 plus Muslims living there. Number 8, Newark, New Jersey. Newark is a place where New Yorkers move to when they want cheaper housing, and Muslims move here for the exact same reasons. Plus, jobs, community, and the ability to find decent food without selling government secrets. West African Muslims, Senegalese, and Malian helped shape the city's culture decades ago, and Arab and South Asian communities followed. Today, Newark has a strong, tight-knit Muslim presence. You've got mosques tucked between corner stores, halal restaurants that can convince you by themselves to move to this town. While I was digging through the research here, I noticed that the Muslim neighborhoods in Newark are the safest neighborhoods in Newark, New Jersey. Everyone, not just Muslims, moved to Newark because of the same reason. It's close enough to do things, but still cheaper than pretending Manhattan is livable. 8 to 10% of Newark's population is Muslim, large West African Muslim population, along with Senegalese and Malayan also, plus Arab and South Asian communities. Now, what's interesting about this, if you go to Wikipedia, they give you wrong information. Well, they give you accurate information. They're just talking about the ones that are citizens that put that down on their census form. Other agencies got their own math where they're counting kids and people that might be here illegally or on a visa. But Wikipedia says that they've only got 3%. It's actually closer to 10%. Number 7, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Philly has one of the largest African-American Muslim communities in the nation, along with a growing population of Somalian, Palestinian, and Pakistani. Islam has deep roots in the city, going back to the 1950s and 60s, and it's grown steadily ever since. Philly's mosques are everywhere, like Wawa stores, but with better architecture. Life in modern Philly's Muslim neighborhoods, busy, vibrant, and full of institutions that have been here longer than half the skyscrapers. One of the largest African-American Muslim communities in the country is in Philly. Many mosques are tied to long-established black Muslim institutions. Now, the way they turned in their results, it was by the city plus close-in metro areas, like the suburbs of Philly. It didn't get all into Camden and stuff like that. 10 to 12% of Philly's population is Muslim and has one of the largest African-American Muslim communities in the country. Like I had said, many mosques are tied to long-established black Muslim institutions. Number 6, Brooklyn, New York. Look, Brooklyn isn't a city anymore. It's a brand. But if it were its own city like it was before 1898, it would have one of the largest Muslim populations in the country. You've got everything from the historic Arab neighborhoods of Bay Ridge to massive South Asian enclaves like Kensington and Midwood to West African communities in Flatbush. You know, it's really funny that people just call it boroughs and stuff like that. You get this illusion like it's a neighborhood. No, New York's boroughs are huge. Any place else in the country, they're called a suburb. At least that's the way I see it. I mean, Brooklyn itself has 2.7 million residents. That makes it a city to most Americans. If you're from New York, I get it. It's a borough to you, and that's what it is. But any place else in the country, it's called a suburb. But in Brooklyn, the call to prayer echoes between bodegas, subway rumblings, and the sound of someone complaining about their rent. Muslim-owned businesses line entire avenues, and mosques here are packed, especially on Friday and definitely during Ramadan. The multicultures and religions of Brooklyn's history are amazing. Actually, all of New York is like that. It's really, really interesting. But 12 to 15% of Brooklyn's population is Muslim. The largest communities are South Asian, Arab, and West African communities. Number 5, Jersey City, New Jersey. Jersey City is where commuters, immigrants, and people who like the idea of living near New York go. Its Muslim population is huge and widely diverse. Pakistani, Bengalese, Egyptians, and West Africans make whole neighborhoods feel like cultural crossroads. Today, Jersey City has more halal food options than some of their countries. Mosques are busy, restaurants are always hopping, and the community keeps growing. About 15 to 18% of their population is Muslim. Now, they have a very diverse Muslim population: Indian, Pakistani, Egyptian, Sudanese, West African, and Arab. Now, Jersey City is one of the places that has a wide variety of numbers to choose from on this subject. Wikipedia says it's 3.4, the US Census says it's 5%, and some organizations estimate that when you count the people that aren't citizens here on visas or illegally, it's 15 to 18%. Just kind of shows you that some organizations or departments in the government might have a different agenda or just a different way of doing things. Number 4, Bridgeview, Illinois. Bridgeview is where you go when you want Chicago Muslim community, but without Chicago taxes, traffic, and wind trying to tear your skin off. Now, that's not why they call it the Windy City, but it does have some pretty bad wind, and it's cold coming off that lake. I know people have told me many times it's called the Windy City. There's like 4 different stories, but it's because the politicians, they talked a lot and things like that. So there's several stories why it's called the Windy City. But the first time I went there, it was like November, and that wind was blowing and it was ice cold. It was painful. Anyway, this suburb has one of the largest Palestinian populations in the country, anchored by the famous Mosque Foundation, one of the most active Islamic centers in the Midwest. Life here is very community forward. You've got Arab bakeries, grocery stores, and restaurants filling entire strips. Friday looks like someone organized a friendly car-to-car honking competition. This is also a place that's very popular with retired Americans for some reason. There's a good-sized population. It's a nice suburb to live in. You're within 10 minutes of everything you need, unless the Bears are playing in town, then good luck, it could be an hour. 20 to 25% of their population is Muslim, and it's home to one of the largest Palestinian communities, like I said, in the Western Hemisphere. Number 3, Paterson, New Jersey. Paterson has a Muslim presence so strong that one of its neighborhoods is literally called Little Ramallah. Palestinians, Syrians, and Jordanians helped build this city's identity decades ago, and that legacy is everywhere, from bakeries to bookstores to political leadership. Today, Paterson's Muslim community is massive and growing. Mosques fill up fast, neighborhoods feel close-knit, and the city's 4th Ward has more Middle Eastern restaurants than some Middle Eastern capital cities. 20 to 30% of the population is Muslim. That's according to the Housing and Urban Development. Number 2, Hamtramck, Michigan. Hamtramck has had a wild identity shift. It used to be Polish to the core. Polish bakeries, Polish festivals, and Polish people wondering why Detroit looks so different. Then Yemenis, Bangladeshi, and Bosnian Muslims arrived, built strong communities, opened businesses, and eventually elected its first Muslim majority city council and mayor in U.S. history. Today, Hamtramck is one of the only Muslim majority city governments in the nation. Ramadan lights line the streets, halal markets are everywhere, and the call to prayer is about as common as the sound of someone complaining about Michigan winters. Michigan has always had a very large Muslim community. 35 to 40% of Hamtramck's population is Muslim. That's a lot. All right, before we get to number 1, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, we'd love it if you did. Maybe give it a big thumbs up. All right, on to number 1. And number 1, Dearborn, Michigan. I did this video 4 years ago, and Dearborn was the only one that was in the same spot. Dearborn is the most Muslim city in the United States, period. Lebanese immigrants started arriving here more than 100 years ago, followed by Yemenis, Iraqis, and Palestinians. Henry Ford brought jobs, and the community brought everything else: schools, mosques, businesses, and culture. Today, Dearborn has about 40 to 45% Muslim, making it the closest thing America has to a Muslim majority city. They've got an incredible food scene, mosques are part of the local landscape, social life centers, the community, and generations of families have made this their forever home. It's really not a bad place to live, especially if you're Muslim and you don't mind winter. About 45% of Dearborn, Michigan's population is Muslim. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, be nice to each other.